Talking about the cost of poor quality, in general, it is nothing but the amount of money that a business loses because its product or service is not done right the first time. I'll tell you one layman example. Let's assume you have ordered a product on any e-commerce portal. I don't want to name them specifically because this is a kind of bad example. And you ordered a product of X brand of Y size, but product of X brand and Z size is delivered to you. Would you be happy? I'm sure you would be pissed off and you'll immediately place the return. And the moment you place the return, you have an option to either go for replacement or refund. If it is refund, whatever the amount that the company has spent in terms of serving that delivery or fulfilling that delivery, the entire expenses is gone. Similarly, even if it is replacement, the company has to ship you again. Likewise, if at all, the people that are responsible for delivering your product, if they didn't make any mistake and if it was delivered to you right for the first time, probably you would have not incurred the expense of shipping it again, or you can avoid the shipping at all. So in general, when it comes to quality, we have to remember one important aspect, which is 1, 10 and 100. So what does the 1, 10 and 100 relate to? Which means if at all an issue or if at all quality issue is found at the first step versus 10th step versus 100th step, right? The cost is going to increase exponentially. So now let us understand different causes of poor quality. There are essentially 4 things: prevention, appraisal, internal failures, and external failures. When it comes to prevention, if at all you have trained your employees well, and if they can build the product or render the service as per the expectation, right, you can avoid the defects. In the e-commerce example that I mentioned, if at all quality check was done proactively, then probably reshipping would have been avoided or the employee would have avoided shipping the wrong product. Likewise, any cost related to preventing the defect, be it in terms of creating procedures or offering training or design reviews, they incur some expenditure. And next aspect is about appraisal. The cost that we spend in order to inspect for defects. Like for example, the amount of time that we spend on testing or quality assurance. The time translates to money. This is the second cost. And next aspect is internal failure. When costs are related to defects found internally by the company, which means if we consider IT example, in the olden days we used to have a dedicated QA team and a dedicated development team. But in today's world, we have DevOps organization where a team member is multi-talented and wears multiple hats, be it the developer, administrator, as well as tester. If we take a step back and relate to the previous organization structure, developer has developed something, but QA team has found an error or a bug, right? That is an internal failure. And whereas if this same bug or the defect is found externally by the customers, then that belongs to the fourth category, which is external failure. Let's assume you are running a web application or a mobile application and it is not working as per the expectations. What would happen? Customer would immediately ring up your call center or use your chatbot option and try to contact you, right? So this is the fourth type of cost that belongs to internal. This is the fourth type of cost, which is external failure. And all that we have seen so far is just the tip of the iceberg. But the reality is that there are numerous hidden costs of poor quality. Now let us look at the remainder of the iceberg, which is below the waterline. Like first one being hidden costs, lost income, customer costs, and social costs. Hidden cost is nothing but the shipping example I mentioned, something which you have returned, right? It is incurring two-way shipping costs. And the time that we spend on unnecessary meetings, unnecessary research or rework, something over time, they all fall under hidden costs. And next aspect is the lost income. Let's assume your application is down and customers are not able to use it. It will lead to revenue loss. Not only that, customers will be utterly dissatisfied and it will impact your customer loyalty. And third aspect here is customer costs, which means there is a confusion over missing or duplicate documents and communication with a specific department with a specific organization. And eighth one, which is the most dangerous one, is about customer dissatisfaction. Because in the beginning of the course, I mentioned about an irate customer scenario. If at all a customer is happy, he might tell to one or two friends. But if a customer is not happy, he will directly go to social media, which will lead to negative publicity. So we need to be very careful about these aspects, which are going to cost a bomb to the company. So Lean and Six Sigma both focus heavily on the quality, which is effectiveness, and while optimizing for time and cost, which is efficiency. That's why if you want to be faster and right, then embrace Lean and Six Sigma so that your operations will be effective and efficient, thereby winning the customers' hearts.